What is going on, everybody? This is Rawstarr of the Burbank Misfits. And of course, as always, I am joined with my co-host, CW.
Hi.
And you are currently listening to The Misfit Effects. Today we have a real treat for you. We have a wonderful woman here today. She was a part of the circus. She's I'm going to say this, hopefully I say this right. Aerialist. She's a part of ATMLA. And I've been going through her profile, and she just has a lot of fun content out there for you. So we have Miss Crystal Taylor. How you doing, Miss Crystal Taylor?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
So for the pathetic souls out there who don't know who you are yet, tell them who you are. Who are you?
I'm a creative spirit, an eccentric flower child, pervert, exhibitionist. And so right now I'm signed to ATMLA as a mainstream porn performer. But I grew weed for about 15 years. And for the last 5, I have been a consultant and a product distributor in the cannabis industry. I am a wholesale distributor of lighting and plastics and nutrients. I don't move weight anymore. That's old shit. And I am currently performing Aerialist. I'm also an actress. I just landed a role in a trauma team horror movie that's being shot in 2021, which is very much like a dream come true to me. I've been a fan of trauma since high school, so I'm still in shock that that's happening. I was a circus.
What's your favorite trauma movie?
Oh man, between Romeo and Juliet and The Toxic Avenger.
I really like Class of Nukem High 2 for some reason.
Yeah, that one's great. It's really hard for me to pick because it's been so many years of me fangirling their shit that I cannot fucking believe I just landed a lead role. I'm really like hysterical over it, actually. A lot of people I know don't really know trauma teams movies, so the fact that you knew exactly what I was talking about makes me feel like I'm in good company.
Oh yeah, I know it's gonna be a fun movie.
Yeah, it really is. The role they have me playing is so perfect for me.
I look forward to it now. I've only seen one of their movies, so I'm not too familiar with the rest of their work. So that's more CW's Barnhouse. So yeah, I look forward to it. It's like, hey, she did my podcast. Check out Miss Crystal. Okay.
So how did you get started with all this? Let's hear the origin story.
The started with what? The cannabis, or because that was like my first real job. Or are you talking about porn?
I guess let's talk about porn, and then maybe we'll work backwards.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'll give you the brief synopsis.
All right.
Grew weed for 15 years, and then at a certain point, it went medical, and then it started going recreational. And while that was happening, I was watching the price of the pound rapidly drop. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the industry thinking, oh man, this is fucked. Like this is going in the exact direction I always knew it eventually was going to, which means I'm going to have to grow 3 times the weight to make the same amount of money. And I'm already overwhelmed with how much I got going on. So I had, I had racked up a pretty fucking good savings, and I took a couple of years, pretty much off, like minimal to no work. And I put myself through circus training. Wow. And I had been going to Burning Man since like 2000, and I had seen Aerialist, and I just knew from the first time that I ever saw it, I was like, I need to learn how to do that. Like I'd been doing gymnastics since I was a kid, but that was like a whole nother level. was so beautiful that I felt like, you know, it was an instantly ignited passion. So I trained for a couple of years and I got good. And then I closed up my weed grow. I sold my equipment and I literally ran away with the circus, which led me down to LA. And I performed internationally doing fire and aerial acrobatics, like trapeze and hammock and aerial tissue and a lot of pole performance. And when I got down to LA, like there are certain times a year you're going to get more gigs in the circus than others, especially in the summer when there's festivals going, because like a lot of DJs will want an aerialist to perform because it's beautiful. It's aesthetically really shocking to an audience. And so when the slow season hit, I had a girlfriend that was also a fellow performer in the circus, but prior to joining the circus, she was a stripper in Vegas. And she was like, girl, she's like, I never knew how to do pole when I was in a strip club, but you are fierce as fuck. And you would make so much money in a strip club. And I had never really even hung out in strip clubs before. I did one pole competition in a strip club years before. And it really wasn't my thing. And she just kept asking me to go with her. And eventually I was like, all right, let's go. And we went to the strip club in Hollywood and it was like a weeknight. I would say like a Tuesday, Wednesday night, but I made $1,500 in 4 hours. And this was like the glory days. This wasn't the glory days of the 90s when you could make those kind of racks, you know? So this is like really unbelievable. And I'm originally from New York City and I just have I was a fucking weed dealer for so many years. I just have really good street smarts and a really good hustle. So I just absolutely fucking dominated in the strip club. And then I did that on and off for 9 years while consulting in the cannabis industry. I owned a solar company for a little bit. And eventually, you know, I finally got onto the fucking bandwagon of OnlyFans and ManyVids. And I was like making my own porn videos, but it never really crossed my mind to go get a porn agent because it really wasn't my angle. I was like, I already have a business. I got money. I don't need to be going that hard. So I went out into the woods and I'm walking around naked with my fucking iPhone and a tripod. And I way out in the woods, stumble upon this guy. This sounds like made up. It's so ridiculous. I stumble upon this guy and he's got a golden drum kit set up and he's in the middle of nowhere drumming and filming himself. And I come up and I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, I'm either going to get raped or this is going to be dope. And he looks up and he's like, you know, like a heavy metal dude. And, he wound up being like super angelic and he goes, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm being an internet hoe. I'm just taking pictures for my OnlyFans. And he was like, cool. Like, do you do porn? And I was like, well, yeah, but I don't do mainstream porn. He's like, well, one of my buddies is like one of the most well-known mainstream porn producers that there fucking is. He's been doing it for 25 years. And I was like, oh, well, do you think you'd want to talk to me? Because I just got curious. I was like, let me ask some questions. Maybe I do want to go fuck some people on camera professionally. I don't know. Let me talk to him. So I wind up getting on FaceTime with this producer and he was never trying to make money off of me. He was just like, he was like, you're singing, your business acumen is really on point. You would do really well at this. And so I started to research agencies, and every agency, obviously, every agency I contacted was like, we'll sign you right now, bitch, let's go. So I fucking kind of took I really looked into it. I contacted other performers who were already signed to these agencies and was like, tell me the truth. What do you really think of your agent? Because I wanted the lowdown on, you know, I don't want to get signed with a fucking scumbag because I'm allergic to bullshit and I'm not going to be manipulated. So I finally found the right agent. And then, you know, a lot of shit, the crazy aerial, me getting fucked up in the air shit you're seeing on my Twitter is stuff that I film because I kind of went combing through all the porn on the internet and I was like, man, a lot of this shit's like mad boring. I really have to I want to make this shit pop off. I want to give some people to look at that's anything other than the standard, like, oh yeah, my fucking pussy type porn. So so I basically I've been enjoying shooting for production companies because it's fun to me, but I really love filming my own shit. And now it's like it's basically just me taking my circus pussy into another arena, and it's interesting. So I feel
yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of myself, and all my friends and family are like super supportive over what I'm doing because no one's surprised. I mean, like when you're in the circus for I've said this before in interviews, of like, what do you think circus performers do when the circus is over, when the show is over? You think we just like go back to our hotels and go to bed? No, we're on some crazy shit. So porn is not, let's just say my first scene, they were interviewing me and they said like, are you nervous? And I was like, no, I'm in my element.
I mean, it's a performance.
Yes, it is. It's not sex education and it's not supposed to be fucking realistic. It's supposed to be a performance. So
I like that.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that there's a lot of people who do not research their companies before they sign with them. Because I'm not gonna say what companies or whatever, but I know many of people who have bad experiences with their agents over the years because they didn't do that little extra step.
even if you do, you might not have I didn't have a good experience with my first agent. Now I'm with ATM LA, and I gotta say, Mark is a straight shooter, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I've seen that. I know that like a few of our recent guests are with ATM LA. So I've never heard anything negative really about them, you know. But I know each organization in general has something out there lingering, but I don't hear too much negative about ATM LA.
I've never heard anything negative, and I dig. I've talked to people who are no longer with them, and I'm like, tell me what happened, and even the people who I've talked to that left were like, it wasn't the fault of ATM LA that they left. It was more that they weren't comfortable with what they were doing. They weren't actually comfortable doing porn, and it was kind of hurting their souls. So they wanted to pull out, but it wasn't the fault of the agent.
I can see that. I'm just saying, like, because I've been in, like, because you joined 6 months ago, like the actual mainstream.
Ish. 6 months ish.
Okay, yeah, because I've been around this world since 2008. So that's why I said I've seen ins and outs of other nonsense. So
yeah, you've probably seen a lot by now.
Yeah, so I've seen more than I wanted to. But I do have a question, and this is going through your Aerialist thing. How is that thrill of being up in the air?
I can never really encapsulate with words the type of joy and freedom that being strong enough to climb 30, 40, 50, 60 to 80 feet in the air and do flips. Like, it feels like being an angel, and the high of that, and especially when I'm performing in front of like thousands and thousands of people, that high I would take over sex, money, and drugs combined. It's unlike anything else for me personally. Like, because I've had to work. When I first started doing aerial, I used to come out of practice crying because I never thought I would be good at it. And I was trying so hard. I was like giving it everything I had. And like the progression to get good at it was slow. And so now that I can just get up there and like maybe, some of the things you see posted on my Twitter, those aren't even choreographed. That's just me getting up and just freestyling, So first you got to get strong enough, to even climb that high. And those are like the letters. And then you start learning the tricks, and those are the words. And then you start stringing them together. And then eventually you can really make poetry with your body. And it's a constant struggle between the stronger you get, the less flexible you are. The more flexible you get, you lose some strength. So there's always a battle going on between the two. And I feel like every time that I practice, I go up there feeling really strong. And by the practice, it's like the silk is won again, and I'm on the ground. Like I honor the practice so deeply, and it's really shaped me to know that I'm capable of things that I really didn't think I could do.
That's what's up.
Well, you said you didn't think you could really encapsulate it, but it sounds like you did a great job. Like, listening to what you said, it makes me like, wow. Like, well, yeah, you kind of described a feeling that almost feels undescribable.
I feel like the biggest thing it's taught me is discipline and consistency. And I think people that lack discipline feel out of control inside and they don't realize it. So maybe they use like drugs and drinking and bullshit to avoid the way they feel. But when you're that athletic and you cannot take drugs, so like you can't get high and climb up in the air, there's a huge risk of you literally dying or becoming a paraplegic. So it's like, if you commit to that sport, it's a sport of taking care of your body, like really taking care of your body. And there's no avoiding like your emotional state. So it forces you by nature to like deal with yourself and to really go inwards and to introspect and to get quiet and to have that discipline to keep showing up at the practice to get better and better. And I feel like it's really shaped me to be able to withstand a lot.
Do you not use a net, or is it just you in the air?
No, there's no safety nets.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had a performance a long time ago where they had me rigged off of a crane over a bed of rocks at this festival. And when I was way the hell up at the top, I realized the extremity of what I was doing. And that's why it's like this sport commands your full respect because of the risk. And it's part of the reason why I'm not necessarily, I still perform, but I'm not traveling with the circus anymore because I'm fucking getting too old for that shit.
I want to say this, like, I would, like, honestly, I would freak out at any point in there. Even before my injury, I would just freak out. And, I couldn't do it. So you are a real good one for that, because I know that I don't have the, I wouldn't have the patience to train myself into like that concentration factor. I would have messed up that very first day. So that's excellent that you have that drive in order to do that rather.
Yeah, I'm really dedicated.
So yeah, like I didn't get a chance to see one of your Aerialist. Like I know that is what you did, but I didn't get a chance to see like a full-on video. But the way that you describe it and how high you're up, and you just say you're over some rocks with a crane, I would be there. I would be there.
Link in my.
I would just be there hanging on like, someone get me.
I love the look on people's faces when I'm looking down at the crowd.
I know, because it's unimaginable, because like you're up there and everybody's looking at you, and you can focus on a few different faces or look at a few different faces because like they're all in awe because you're doing something, one, that is very entertaining, two, is very very terrifying for people who think you might fall.
It feels superhuman.
Yeah,
it absolutely is. It's like, so imagine like you go to the gym and you're doing pull-ups, right? But I'm doing pull-ups for like, I've had routines that are like 8 minutes long, so it's like you're doing 8 minutes worth of pull-ups, and the consequence for letting go is going to be real bad if you do. So I built up to where I'm at now over the course of like a 15-year span, and if I was to show you what it looked like in my first few lessons, it's really unbelievable how far I've come. And in the world of aerialists, they even get so much better than me. So there's never an end to that childlike sense of wonder that I have surrounding this passion of mine, where there's always room for improvement. And I'm not battling against anybody else. I'm only battling against myself to get stronger, to get more flexible. And that goes soul deep. That's not just physical, because you have days where you don't want to get up and do it. And making yourself get up and adhere to your practice is the kind of discipline that creates somebody with a strong mind, not just a strong body. So I'm immensely proud of myself for how far I've come.
I agree. Discipline. Yeah, that does. You have to have a strong mind to keep going, even if every day, even if when the days feel like fails at the end.
Right. And I think you have to have a strong mind to be in porn too, because that's an industry with heavy stigma. So if you have an identity crisis or you don't know who you are taking serious risks with your life. And I say this because the risk in porn for drinking and drug addiction and suicides and all that shit is sky high. So, you know, I all of my friends in real life are not porn stars. They're normal people with like very vanilla jobs. And, you know, I know what I do is like so far outside the scope of what they can even comprehend. But I definitely don't think what I'm doing is for everybody. But I know that that my draw towards being a porn performer is out of inspiration and not desperation. And those are radically different approaches to this industry. For those who come in because they think they're going to make quick money or because they're desperate for love and attention or whatever other shit, they're gambling.
That's what a lot of people do.
There's a lot of gambling.
They really jump in thinking they're going to make a lot of money really quick, and then they can, you know, retire. And it's not like that because it's so many. One, like, well, you hit times like there's a corona, and like if you are shooting whatever, you might run into the fact that you know, the industry shuts down for whatever, and or people don't understand, like, if you're with an agent, you gotta, you know, you gotta split the pot, whatever, or and other little tidbit things that people don't take into account, and then they don't realize that, you know, it's out once it's out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's not a problem because I have not ever had I don't want the type of job that's going to not want to. First of all, I don't want to work for anybody but myself because I haven't for the last 20 years of my life. And I would never want a job where somebody would not hire me because I did porn at some point. But I'm a hustler. So it's not, nothing's gonna slow my roll, not even porn. It's not gonna fuck up my income. If I didn't shoot for 6 months, I'd still be able to feed myself. So it's not, you know, it's like a take it or leave it. And my feeling is that, you know, when I do interviews like this, it gives people some insight as to who I am as a human being. And I think that what I do on camera and porn is of the least, it's like, on the scale of things I do, it's not even close to the most interesting. So this shit gives people a way to humanize me and subscribe to my personality. And so my real fans are going to find me because I'm fucking dope, not just because I'm showing them my pussy hole, because there's a million bitches that are doing that.
I like that. And that's why I was saying earlier, like, we try to, like, you know, we do hit on, like, you know, porn, since we do talk to a lot of porn performers, but we also want to make sure that people, like, know you as a human. That's why I find it interesting that, you know, you did Aerialist. I didn't know about the marijuana until just right now. So, because I was trying to do my research before we brought you on, and like even selling weed, that's a tough market because, like, depending on when you started, whatever. When it went from just medical to then recreational out here, I know a lot of people who were making money as when it was just medical.
Right.
It took a hit when it became recreational. Like,
back when I started in the weed game, it was like I want to say like 2001-ish. Like, I was taking a lot of psychedelics back then in the woods with the hippies. So it's like that whole time span is kind of a blur to me. But when I started, you could easily make 6 figures out of your garage. And nobody was asking questions like, hey man, like, what's the CBD and THC content? Like, is this an indica or sativa? It was just fucking weed. We were taking like knife hits off the stove. So it's like, it wasn't that techie. Now it's like, you have to have the right genetics, and you have to have the best weed to really command that price. And so, like, these are the early stages of the game when it was like really the true Wild West. Like, any weed veteran that's listening to this right now will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Early 2000s in Humboldt County, we were popping off the best weed on planet Earth. Everybody knew it.
Like, I know CW has engaged in 420 for a lot longer than I've been around it. So I don't.
What, 5 years longer than you? You make it sound like I've just been.
I don't know. You was smoking marijuana?
Yeah, you do. Because I started smoking marijuana living with you.
See, you trying to make this seem like a lot of work.
The time when I gave you that edible, the chocolate bar, that was the first time I've been to a dispensary ever. No, second time.
I meant in general. Anyway, I'm sorry for this argument.
I didn't smoke before then. Anyway.
Right, y'all were stoned. Okay, you don't remember.
This is what I deal with, Miss Crystal. I'm an innocent bystander.
Right. So, oh damn! I forgot my question. Maybe I am stoned.
So, oh my God, I'm sorry. So you made the transition from so far.
So what's next?
So honestly, at this point, it's like every dream, every goal that I've ever set for myself, I've made my reality. And the way I'm living right now is it's so like ideal in so many ways, because it's like I don't have to depend on any one source of income because I have several, and I spend a lot of time doing flexibility training and doing aerial acrobatics and roller skating on various beaches. I roller skate maybe like 7 to 10 miles a day. And I would like to keep living my life the way I'm living it now for as long as I possibly can, because I feel like I'm in a lot of ways living an unimaginable dream for most people. I mean, I'm on the beach in a G-string like every day on roller skates, just causing a fucking scene. And I feel completely free. So it's like, if in the world of porn, I get a big following, that would be great. But I'm also not going to be bummed if I don't, because a lot of porn doesn't really have much to do with like how hot you are, how great you fuck. It comes down to marketing. There's some really beautiful girls who never pop off, and then there's some ugly motherfuckers that are just making bank. So it's not about that. And I kind of know that. So I think I'm enjoying the journey without fixating on the destination, because that is kind of the whole definition of being here now, of appreciating like the gift of the present moment. So I'm not fixating on the future or the past. I'm just trying to absorb what's going on now and to derive the most meaning out of these experiences that I can for my own evolution. So I'm really like kind of zen about the way that I operate. I'm super happy. I'm extremely grateful for what I have right now. And if we can have a more evolved version of this as we go along, I'm all for it.
Okay. Wow. So you're living the dream, and the only way to get better is getting deeper into the dream, I guess.
It's just continuing it, Okay. When I was a kid, I was actually born with cancer, and I had a really hardcore surgery to remove it. Like, it was like the size of a softball, and I was only a 6-pound baby, so it was really risky surgery. So I kind of lived my whole life feeling like I maybe shouldn't have even been here. So the fact that I am is like every day feels like a real blessing.
Well, I'm glad you are still here, and I'm sorry that you were born with that, because some people don't always survive surgeries of that nature. So I'm glad you're still.
No, they don't. But I don't think we should be sorry about it. I think it's kind of like has made me the person that I am, and without it, I don't know how I'd be.
Yeah, it sounds like you really appreciated the life you got to have and decided to live it to the fullest.
That's exactly what time it is. That's exactly it.
So, like, honestly, you've done a lot more than I could that I like research. So I'm loving every aspect of your life.
The porn part was the least interesting part.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, yeah, I do porn too. It happens, but you know, I also do this. I have like, you know, educated people about selling marijuana. I've sold it. Seriously, no, I do have another question. How is circus life? Like, when you take away like, you know, what you actually do, how is that atmosphere?
Circus performers are of the most talented individuals that I've ever met in my life. And all of us, for the most part, I mean, I would say that the acrobats that I was spending my time with live an extremely healthy lifestyle, really clean diets, like just really healthy routines. And being around that is so inspirational. So a lot of people in their 20s probably drink a lot of alcohol. Well, I didn't drink any, and I still don't. And not because I was ever an alcoholic, but because I chose this sport over anything that could pollute my body in any way. So when you look at my Twitter, there's a lot of people retweeting me as like teen snow bunny Crystal Taylor chokes on big black cock, and it's like these people think I'm a teenager.
Yeah, let me ask with you really quick. Like, I saw an interview when you said your age.
Yeah.
And I had to go back. I had to rewind it for a second. And I'm like, no.
I know.
No. And then I saw your profile on 18 LA, and I'm like, really? No.
Yeah. So that's a weird one. And maybe you guys know more about this than I do, but like I said about the marketing and porn, well, this is a tough one because I'm almost 39 years old, but I look like a teen. And so that makes it a little, I don't know how the marketing of that's going to go. I'm just hoping that my personality will be the reason why people want to work with me, and that the age and the fact that I don't have any surgical enhancements is not going to be a problem.
Well, I will say this, because you look a lot younger than you are, you don't run into the fact of they're going to be putting you as MILF. Because once you get categorized as that, that's all you're going to get put in is that MILF role. And honestly, like, I, at most, from seeing your pictures and stuff, I thought you were 23. Jesus. And I'm like, that's why I kept saying, I kept rewind. I'm like, no, am I looking at the right person? Am I on the right video right now? So, yeah.
I mean, I just did a shoot with Jade Baker, and they cast us as peers, and I believe she's 22. Yeah. But I also have done a bunch of MILF shoots, and I really don't like the term MILF. It's just so bizarre to me because I feel forever young. I feel however young you thought I was, that's how old I feel.
Well, I know they do it because someone's 27 or 26 years old or older, which is crazy. Like 26 is a MILF, but it's just they just want that little saying, "Oh, this is my daddy's new hot wife," and yeah. So it's a weird take on. Yeah.
We're just talking about how, it's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy. And like, I get it, but like, honestly, because you do look a lot younger than you are. It helps out a great deal. And people can sell that either or, because that means you can fall into the category, well, a few different categories. So it just depends on who's actually doing the booking, you know.
I want to fall into the category of free spirit. Can't really control however I'm going to be marketed, but I feel really blessed to be in any sort of demand at the age I'm in, coming in as a new talent. I'm really grateful for the opportunities to shoot with any of the talent and any of the directors that are bringing me on. And I have yet to crack my knuckles into the kind of shoots that I really want to do.
What do you? Because I watched the video that's on your website. So so have you done anything with kink yet? Because it seems like that's where you want to go from.
Let's just ask, what kind of videos do you want to crack your knuckles on?
I've always wanted to do a gangbang with Blacked from just ever since that shit was even on my radar. I like that. I just like that whole, I mean, I've done that type of shit in my personal life, and I feel like I'm very much in my element while it's happening. And I think part of it is because I'm very dominant in real life, especially in my business dealings. So the idea of like being completely overtaken by a bunch of giant black dudes, this is fucking so hot to me and always has been. And that, like, I want that to happen, but I don't even know if those companies are really shooting that stuff right now. But if anyone from Blacked is listening, put me the fuck on.
Honestly, when it comes to
Black, it here. Anybody from Black?
Honestly, from what I've seen, all they really need is someone to some of your fans and say, "Hey, book Crystal Taylor with blah 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 blah," and then they'll have you in there with a lot of different people.
They have. Somebody actually just tagged me on Twitter recently. It was like, Black Raw, put this girl on. And I think, like, I know that my previous agent had spoken to them, and they were just trying to get like a few more scenes under my belt, because I think a large part of that, of any company wanting to book somebody, is that person has a fairly large social media following, but all of my social media accounts in regards to porn are new. So I'm just getting my following up so I could understand why they would be recalcitrant to do that now. But
well, it's hard for anybody starting off, and then then it really depends on how everybody is marketing you, and then what companies you shoot for. And then Corona isn't really helping anybody right now, especially if you're new. It's not really helping anybody right now. So it puts you at a little.
It's helping my other business. It's helping my product distribution in the cannabis industry for sure. Like I've watched that shoot up, but in porn, it's making it difficult because even I've shot a lot of scenes in this last 6 months, and I think only like 2 or 3 of them are actually out. I think that they're.
Can I ask a quick question, really quick? And this is related. Have y'all seen the South Park episode that just came out?
No.
Don't ruin it for me. I have to see it.
Yeah. Okay. When you watch it, you will understand via what you just said why I brought it up. So ignore that, but just remember that in the back of your mind. So when you watch it, you'll understand why I asked that question.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that episode. That just popped up on my feed today, and I was like, "Oh shit, I can't wait."
I watched it about 2:00 this morning, and I'm like, it's related to what you just said. That's why I was wondering.
Do you know that Trauma gave career starts to Quentin Tarantino, Samuel L. Jackson, and Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park? That's another reason why I'm so excited to work with them. I just found that out recently.
What is that? Was the that Cannibal musical distributed by Trauma?
I'm not sure, but I just did a little research, and I found out that Trauma put all 4 of those guys on early in their career. So even if I would like to go in there with the winning attitude and make everybody's day pleasant and put on the best performance that I possibly can, hoping that it will lead to me doing more mainstream movies.
I mean, I hope it works out for you.
Sounds like a good way to look at it.
Yeah, as I said, I've I've only seen The Toxic Avenger. So I have a lot to, catch up on, even though I know CW over here watches a lot of those type of movies.
Oh man, there's some great ones. The Sergeant Kabuki Man, Killer Condom. It's not like a trauma film, but it was like distributed. There's this old one with Kadeem Hardison and it's like a weird vampire movie from the 80s. You gotta check it out. It's a large catalog, Rawstarr, of entertaining film.
So I forgot my train of thought. But yeah, I know that there are other agencies out there that also do game make scenes like that also, not just Black, but I do know Black is
Black's kind of the one that you think of now, I think now.
Well,
I like Black's aesthetic. It's not like some gangbangs I see are super
intense.
Yeah, just like super intense. And the thing is, like, when it comes to filming like really depraved shit, there's no end to that. It's like, oh, this week you're doing triple anal, next week they're stuffing a pineapple up your ass. It's just, there's no end to it. So it's not, it's not necessarily that I'm trying to do the most outrageous shit. That's not my angle at all. My angle is I'm super attracted to Black men. I want to fuck a bunch of them at one time. And it doesn't have to be this like, it doesn't have to be the aggressive type scene where they're like, doing the most and kind of manhandling me. I think that there's an element to Black stuff where it's about these guys pleasuring the female instead of just straight dominating her. And fine. I think that's attractive to me, because when I've done this type of shit in real life, these guys were all out to please me. They weren't out to treat me like a fucking rag doll, which is fine, because eventually when it's going down, you let go completely, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen no matter what when you're getting that much dick. But does it have to happen in a way where it's like it looks unpleasant and painful for the female? No.
That's what. Yeah.
I don't really like that shit. It's like I'm already
it starts
down.
To be like scary.
Yeah, like sometimes I see these girls in porns and they look like a fucking deer in headlights, like where it's like all of a sudden the beast is coming at them and they fucking do it. They're actually not into it. It almost seems like, and very well could be, just on camera rape. So I'm into more of it looking like it's fully consensual and that I'm just having the time of my fucking life, because that's really what it is. Like, it doesn't need to be me getting barked at and punched around. Like, that's really not my aesthetic. I like it a little bit classier than that. Not just like, it doesn't have to be so roughneck. I mean, I'm female after all.
Yeah. I feel that. You're fun though. Like via this conversation, you are very, very fun. I'm glad Bobby introduced me to you, because you're very fun.
I'm really glad you guys reached out. I appreciate it.
Oh no! Like Bobby put you on my radar. Bobby Adore, who's been on the show, he had to come back, because when we first recorded him, our microphone was kind of messed up, and so we had to come back and redo it. And Bobby's a great individual, and like he told me about you, and I'm like, yeah. Because when I read your, I'm like, yeah. So I'm glad that we're able to cross paths like that, because via this conversation, you've done a lot, you are doing a lot, and I feel in my from what I understand, that you have a lot more to offer that the world in general has yet to see. And you're doing this actor thing with I'm gonna say Trauma.
Yep.
And your ambitions in the industry, and yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and just all in your greatness as the next few years come along, because I feel that that movie is gonna be excellent. And I can't wait to see it whenever it comes out, and everybody else can start. Huh?
I was gonna say it's refreshing to hear someone that has a plan and like kind of knows what they're doing, because we do this podcast I guess every week, and you know sometimes we're like, okay, what's your plan? They're like, oh, okay, that's great. Oh man, well, I hope everything turns out all right.
Or you run someone
like, hey, this is not, this is not out of desperation.
Yeah, like earlier you said, we asked you like, who are you? And most people just say, well, I'm a porn star. And that's where they leave it. And I'm glad
that's not who you are. That's just the job you do.
Yeah, and I'm glad you have so much. I'm glad you have so much going on, because it makes you a more endearing person. And I feel that if anybody out there who does listen to this podcast and they aren't familiar with you just yet, they will love every bit of your personality, as I have in this 45 minutes so far, have loved every second of it, because you have yeah. That's all I can say. I don't know how to put it into English.
I really appreciate that so much, because sometimes when I do interviews, the type of questions that are thrown at me undermine my intelligence because they have no depth. So you've actually given me a platform to speak on what I'm made of instead of just whatever shit I did in a porn, which is it's not going to get any. It's. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
But the thing is, like I always say, yeah, we do bring a lot of porn performers on, but the thing is, like, you are more than just porn.
Porn, yeah,
like yes, you can go to Crystal Taylor's OnlyFans or whatever and watch her have sex on camera. Yeah, but there's so much more depth to her than people can possibly imagine. And once you understand, once you understand that, your fantasy, your pleasure, your identity of watching this human being will grow even more, because you know that that about her, and it makes her even more desirable, and even more wanted, even more this and that, because of all that.
And that's my desire, is that people fall in love with my personality. And when you come to my OnlyFans, you're going to see me doing stand-up. You're going to see me doing aerial, doing. I did stand up in LA for a little while, and I'm actually doing there's a showcase tomorrow night for Black Lives Matter. So I'm going to be doing an aerial performance and a little bit of stand up on it. And I'll send you guys that link.
Okay. This podcast comes out tomorrow. What time is it at?
It's around 9 at night, and I think like the trajectory right now is that I'm just putting myself out there and throwing all my shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And so if the thing that my audience grabs onto is this trauma performance, or they see some porn, or they're really into it, wherever it goes, it's like I'm cool with it. And if it's going to blow up in any way or not at all, it's like I'm down with however it's going to unfold. So, I'm just putting my best foot forward and seeing what works.
So everybody out there who listens to this the day it comes out, which is October 5th, she's doing that tonight then. So if you're really a real supporter of BLM and you want to support, it's tonight, technically. So yeah. Honestly, I would love to come, Miss Taylor. Just let me know where it's at, and I would try my best to arrive. Yeah.
Yeah, and regardless, I'll probably screen record the aerial performance. Mm-hmm. So regardless, I'll get that to you. And if you do want to see, like, the last performance I did was on the Dr. Susan Block show, and in my Twitter bio, if you click the link in my Twitter bio and go to my many vids, I posted that video up for free.
Okay.
So I know many vids is porn, but I do put a lot of shit up there that's not porn. That's just me doing performance, in hopes that if people will see it, they will be intrigued enough to want to see all the different things that I have to offer.
Yeah, I know. Like when I was doing my research, I purposely try to avoid going to actually the porn sites because like that's not going to generate questions. Just other than like, oh, I see you had sex with blah blah blah, and that's a nothing question. So I would go check that out. You said ManyVids?
Yeah, it's actually on my OnlyFans. It's on my ManyVids. So like all these platforms, I treat them like they're a social media feed. So you're not just gonna get the porn. You're gonna get all the different things that I do. And if you're not interested in my aerial, then you can watch me get fucked in the ass. I don't really care. I'm just putting it all out there. It doesn't matter to me. Like I'm just doing it. I'm just wild now. That's it.
Yeah, I just clicked the video. I'm gonna talk to you while I'm watching you. Yeah, I can see the upper body strength that's necessary because that just seems like very interesting. I will try to check you out tomorrow too. But we did reach the end. But you do comedy too, you said, right?
Yeah.
How
I
is
have
that?
not done. It's of all the shit I do, I have to say stand-up is the most intimidating because I don't care if you think that I'm not attractive, but if you think I'm stupid, then it's a whole then we got a problem. Because I feel like my intellect is the most valuable thing. So with comedy, it's like you're putting your intellect on display, and when a show goes over really well, it's like a really incredible high, and then when the audience doesn't receive you and maybe you flop, which is necessary to like get better at it, that those are kind of like hard hits for my ego. I don't like to I don't like to lose. So if I don't nail a set, it's difficult for me to like navigate the emotions that come up with that because I want to succeed, but comedy is intimidating to me, and I think you have to fail a lot of times at it to get really great at it. So I study what I perceive to be the greats in hopes to learn and get better, but I don't do it enough because I'll be honest with you, it scares me. It really does.
Because I know TW has done stand-up before, so y'all better than me because I probably couldn't get up there and try to do comedy if it's just jokes or if it's storytelling. I'm not the best at necessarily doing that in front of a mass group of people.
Oh, it feels great. And then when people don't laugh, you're like, oh man, I just want to go into a little hole. Like,
yes, that part.
So, yeah, like whenever you do it, like I tell everybody in the industry this because there's a few people who I know that are performers that do stand up, and I always just say, let me know, and I will try my best to come out. I can't promise that I will come out, but I will try my best to come out. And it'd be in your cheering section, and cheer you on. Because that's why I really enjoy doing. I love being like someone's cheerleader and cheering them on, because that little inspiration can help them out in many different ways. So yeah, so just let me know, and I will try my best to come out and support. But however, we have reached the end of the podcast, so please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can look you up, where they can buy anything that you do, where they can have all things tailored.
So you can go to lovecrystaltaylor.com. You can find me on Instagram at ilovecrystaltaylor. You can find me on Twitter at crystaltaylorxo. I have a free Snapchat that is XO Crystal Taylor. I'm Crystal Taylor on ManyVids, and the link to my OnlyFans are in my Twitter and Instagram bios.
Okay, and so W, tell everybody where they can find you really quick. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, tell everybody where they can find you really quick.
Oh, you're talking to me. All right.
Yeah, CW.
You can find me. I can barely hear you. Your mic has done that weird thing. Like does.
Okay.
You can find me at Christopher at Instagram. Christopher _Willie with an IE _J. You can find anything about the gym on Instagram at CC Fitness LA, on Twitter, CC Fitness LA for the podcast and the gym, and CC Fitness on Facebook if you're, I don't know, over 40. I'm joking.
Over 40.
But yeah.
Anyway, okay, we are the Burbank Misfits on Instagram, Burbank Misfits on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm at Rawstarr, RAWSTARR, on Instagram and on Twitter. And you can find our website at burbankmisfits.com, which has everything we do, from him doing fitness, me doing photography, editing, website design, and all the other fun stuff. Please make sure you go out, support Miss Crystal Taylor. From this interview, you can tell that she's a very intelligent, fun human being that has so much depth to her that is unbelievable. And I look forward to seeing her grow in so many ways as she goes forward in the rest of the stuff she does in her career. Please tune in next week. I don't know who we'll have on, but we'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.